Hey y'all, I'm Damon Oates, founder of Deco Exchange. Who else has heard that crafting is just a hobby? I turned my love of crafting into a thriving multi-seven-figure company, surrounded myself in an amazing community, and met some amazing business owners along the way. I'm here to show everyone that makers mean business.
What is going on, you guys? It is Parker here with the Makers Mean Business podcast. Y'all, it has been, I feel like I say this every time, by the way. It has been a heck of a week, month, day, year situation. We are finally somewhat recovered from the hurricane from last month. We are somewhat caught up in the warehouse. We had all kinds of stuff going on the other parts of our business. So this kind of fell off a little bit, but I wanted to just get back to where we were with our recordings and the podcast and everything. So today I have another recording for you guys from Allie. So Allie was not only a speaker at Wreath Makers Live, but she is also one of our team members. She does a lot of our Pinterest. She does a lot of our Instagram. She does a lot of our blog. So she's a very, very crucial part of our business, and she knows a lot about SEO and good photos and blogging and all kinds of great stuff. But today her recording is all about her experience at Wreath Makers Live, her experience speaking at Wreath Makers Live, and she also included a lot of tips and tricks when it comes to Pinterest and having a successful Pinterest. Y'all, I personally really love Pinterest. It's very, in my opinion, it's very hands-off. It doesn't require you to have some huge community. It doesn't require you to show up and do all these videos. What it does require is you to take some really good pictures, have some aesthetically pleasing stuff, and it also requires you to have some good titles and tags, which is really, it's kind of like really in my wheelhouse because I'm not a huge fan of video content. I'm a huge fan of video content. I'm not a huge fan of creating video content myself. But y'all, Pinterest does also have video content. So it is a really good way to get traffic going to whether it be your Etsy shop, your blog, basically anywhere you need to go. Even as an affiliate, you can send or create pins to send people to your affiliate's website. So an example, you guys, if you didn't catch what I was just saying, I'm thinking about it as I kind of talk about it. If you guys are an affiliate with decoexchange.com, you can take pictures from our website and create some pins and then have the pin direct to your affiliate link at decoexchange.com. That way, when someone clicks on the link that you, or the pin that you created, brings them to our website, they make a purchase, you get a credit for that. That's a great way to start having a little bit of cash flow, passive cash flow in your business. So I think Pinterest has a lot of value to add to small businesses, especially you guys that are just starting, especially you guys that don't have a huge following, especially you guys who don't want to necessarily get in front of a camera. I think Pinterest is a great thing. And I really appreciate Allie taking the time to record some stuff, talk a little bit about Wreath Makers Live, and also give you guys some great tips. So I hope you guys enjoy this.
Hey everyone, welcome to Makers Mean Business podcast. My name is Allie. Parker asked me to speak today about my experience at Wreath Makers Live, and it was awesome. I got to meet so many amazing people who have taken their hobby and turned it into a thriving business. Even though everyone there are, I guess, craftpreneurs, they were all very caring and supportive of each other. I saw people bonding over all the shared interests and sharing information that helped them grow. Like, they weren't competitive and they were a community. It was really great to see. Wreath Makers Live was definitely a great event to learn. It was definitely overwhelming for me, especially knowing that there were 400 people in person and then another 400 virtually. Like, that's a lot. This is the first time I've spoken at an event, so I was terrified. I usually talk to people one-on-one, and usually from the comfort of my office. I know I've done lives and Q&As and tutorials, but this was so much bigger since I could see everyone in front of me. It was a massive room. What was awesome was just being able to get over my fears. So I'm thankful to Damon and Parker for inviting me to speak at Wreath Makers Live and now here on their podcast. So just like everyone who has taken the time to learn from them, and for some being part of their business coaching, I've been slowly implementing what I've been taught, and it has changed my business. I was recently able to pay off my SUV 3 years way ahead of schedule. So I'm so excited to not have any car payments, at least for now. And it's a great feeling. So with that being said, I have a service-based business as a Pinterest and blog manager. I do currently manage How to Make Wreaths blog and their Pinterest account. So my topic at Wreath Makers was on Pinterest. For those who don't know, Pinterest is a visual discovery search engine. You can use Pinterest as a tool to help grow your business. With Pinterest, you can bring a ton of traffic to your website or your shop and gain sales, leads, grow your email list, and gain brand awareness. Some ways Pinterest can bring traffic are through pins. Each pin links back to your content. If everything is set up correctly on your website or your shop, anyone who sees your pin on Pinterest can click and be brought back to your site. So just like any other social media platform, Pinterest brings engagement. What counts as engagement are repins, which are sharing pins within Pinterest. Pin URLs are sharing the URLs with your friends and your groups. On the pins, getting comments, hearts, and likes, and people trying your pins. There's a section where you can share images if you've tried someone's tutorial on how-tos or recipes, and comment whether you liked it or not, and get engagement that way. Did you know that viewers are already engaging if they pin images from your website or your shop before they even get on Pinterest? Like, that's why it's so important that you have your Pinterest keywords in your pin descriptions and titles, all of that set up on the back end of your site. Once people pin from your site, Pinterest does the rest. People are able to repin and gain ideas and inspiration from your content, or you can get buyers and gain sales, whatever is your goal. So Pinterest also integrates with your website, social media accounts, Etsy, and Shopify. There are benefits to having a Pinterest business account. For one, it's free. You gain access to Pinterest analytics, show what pins are working, take info, and make more of what works. And you can see conversion insights. You have access to Pinterest trends, and you can link your website, your Shopify, Etsy, and social media accounts. One of the benefits too of having a Pinterest business account is becoming a verified merchant. If you have like a shop, well, in order to do that, of course, you have to have a Pinterest business account. And when you are a verified merchant, this helps your Pinterest account gain an extra 15 to 20% increase in reach and impressions. Your account does get prioritized, and it helps lead to more sales. You want to make sure that your business profile is solid. So go over your Pinterest profile image and cover, make sure it represents your brand well. Well, for your profile description, make sure that there are Pinterest SEO incorporated in that, and make sure that you claim your website. With Pinterest boards, you want to make sure that you have a main or your brand board that's strictly yours, only your content in that specific board, and that all other boards that you have as part of your account, they're all relevant to your business. Make sure that the board descriptions and titles have Pinterest SEO, that's all the keywords, all incorporated. When it comes to the pin content, you want to make sure that you're as close to 100% original in your own content to your boards. Meaning anything that's on your website that you want pinned should be on there, and you shouldn't be pinning other people's content, and like all your inspirational stuff should be saved on a separate board. Any of your top 12 boards should be mostly your content, as close to 100% as possible. Any other pinnable content should be from your communities if you're using Tailwind, or any Pinterest group boards you're a part of. Pin content should be about 2 to 3 months ahead of the trends. So for example, with it being August now, Like you can still sneak in some fall and some Halloween, but like Thanksgiving is also a big one right now since that's 3 months away, and Christmas is big. If you have a blog or a site content, you want to have about 2 to 5 pinnable images at least, and to spread that out as you pin. You don't want to pin all of them at once because you don't want it to be considered spam. Between each new image for like the same blog post, they should be about 3 to 4 months apart. So stagger them out well. So that being said, with pin images, you want to make sure that your images are clean, easy to read, and concise. You want to use high quality images, and you want it to be visually appealing to your audience because that's what Pinterest is. It's a visual search engine. Another thing too that has been more recent in the changes of Pinterest is idea pins. Idea pins were originally called story pins like last year when that came out. It was Pinterest's way of competing with other social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Now the focus is to gain more followers. So they use idea pins for you to keep people on Pinterest, but to also at the very end of your idea pin, it'll show your profile image and description, which is why it's extremely important to have a good solid description for your profile and that it has Pinterest SEO, because when people click on your profile image, then it brings them straight to your account, and then people can decide to follow you from there. And that's what you want to do right now, is also gain followers that way. For idea pins, you can use videos, you can use a series of images to help tease your audience or viewers into looking at more of your content. One thing about idea pins is it does not lead to your website, but like I said, when people click on your profile picture at the end of your idea pin, it does bring them back to your account so that they can look at more of your content. So those are like some of the things that are really key to focus on. Other than that, that's pretty much what my presentation was about. I hope you found it very helpful. Thank you.
Yo, I just wanted to take the time to thank Allie one more time before we sign off. But I really hope you guys enjoyed her recording. I hope you guys got some value out of it. I can't stress enough how important Pinterest is and how easy it is to get started. Don't be intimidated by it for sure, and just start getting some pins out there. You'll be surprised how much traffic you actually get. Y'all, I'm going to take a second here and I'm going to just pull up some of our stats because, talking about how great Pinterest is and all of that is great. But I wanted to actually give you guys, before we left off today, or before we leave off today, I want to show you or tell you just a little bit. I can't show you, unfortunately, on the podcast, but so over the last 30 days, I'm looking at our Pinterest account now, y'all. Today, the date of the recording is 10/7/21. If you guys are watching or listening, y'all, I'm so used to video content. I'm like, listen or watch, but it's actually listen. Y'all, the last 30 days, today is 10/7. We had 5.57 million impressions in the last 30 days. If you don't know what impression is, it just means that 5.57 million people saw one of our pins. That doesn't mean they clicked on it. That doesn't mean they followed the link or anything like that. But 5.57 million people saw our content in the last 30 days. And this is just recycled stuff that we already have done. Now, we didn't turn Pinterest on one day and automatically had all this, but it's definitely a really, really great way to get started. Moving on to the next stat, saves. That just means people saved your pin. They pinned it to their board or anything like that. 30.5 thousand in the last 30 days. And then the last important number, and probably the most important number, is outbound clicks. So how many people actually clicked on one of our pins? 34,000 in the last 30 days. Obviously, the numbers dropped off there a huge amount because the number of views versus the number of clicks. But having extra 35,000 people click over to our blog or our Etsy shop, I am not complaining about that, you guys. So that is a little statistic about our Pinterest. Those are some real numbers. I read those straight off the screen. I can send a screenshot if you guys need that, but y'all know that we're really transparent, and that's kind of how things go for us. So y'all, up next on the podcast, I don't actually have the schedule right in front of me, but I'm going to have more of the speakers from Wreath Makers Live. I'm going to have more recordings, more tips, and more tricks. And I'm going to try to keep giving you guys some real world examples of how we're using some of the things that all of the speakers were talking about. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. It's the Makers Mean Business podcast, you guys.